Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are playing through the closing chapter. After pretty much just detailing out Haruki's depression for the last 3 days, he's finally started up a conversation with Mari-san over the phone.
いや、大した話じゃないんだけど、最近バイトの方顔出してないから、元気でやってるか？
元気ですよ。
その声で言われてもな。
寝起きですから。
The fact that I was quick to make up a lie in my first instance of communication in a while is somewhat awkward, though. I mean, that's very much like you, Haruki. You lie to everybody about everything.
まあいいや。それで今度はいつ来てくれる？
それは。
年末進行終わったからって暇なわけじゃないんだ。みんなお前の手を借りたがってる。時間があれば手伝いに来てくれないかな。
ありがとうございます。
The way I am now, her previous sentence didn't come across as an annoyance or her just being nosy about it at all. Having someone unexpectedly tell me that I'm needed by the very outside world that I've isolated myself from right now is enough to elate me. That's good. Like, you feel needed and connected to other people. It's very, very important when you're depressed.
けれど私の方は今年中はもう来ないんだ。今日から取材でアメリカ。で、今成田。
へえ、年末なのに。
Dang, what a busy time to travel.
ニューヨークとかロスとかいろいろ回って、帰りがけにグアムで友達と合流して、そこからバカンス。こっちに帰ってくるのは来年の5日くらい。
5th of January. That's not too long from now.
そうですか。お疲れ様です。
I see. She wanted to tell me about all that. Even if to a mere subordinate like me, she's still so honest as always.
友達って男じゃないぞ。北原もあったよな。ほら、雨宮沢子。毎年恒例のまるっきり男っ気のない女の二人旅で。
I love how she had to specify. Mari-san is so adorable.
はあ、そうですか。
いや、そんなこと北原に言っても仕方ないな。すまなかった。今のは忘れてくれ。
She's so cute.
わかりました。沢子さんにもよろしく伝えてください。楽しんできてくださいって。
いいよ、別にあいつはどうでも。
Mari-san's weird changes in her attitude really perplex me sometimes, and I still can't understand her completely to this day.
それで、ここからが一応の本題。北原の住所に郵便物を送っといたから、こっちにも昨日届いたばかりで、直接渡す時間がなくて。
俺に？一体何です？
それがね、當間陽子のニューイヤーコンサートのチケット。
Ooh, now is not a great time to be bringing that up.
當間陽子の事務所から直接アンサンブルの編集部に送られてきたんだって。あの記事を書いたライターにって。
The moment I finally manage to keep up with the conversation, a name appears once again that makes my head go blank completely.
すごいな、北原。初めての記事でここまで取材元に気に入られるなんて普通はないぞ。
いや、それは相手が特殊なだけで。
せっかくだから楽屋に顔出してみたらどうだ。きっとアンサンブルの名前を出せば会ってくれるぞ。うちの業界は人脈が特に大事だからな。会っておいて損なことは一つもないぞ。
That is asking a whole lot. Mari-san, who's lightheartedly telling me all this while being unaware of the whole story, is making it increasingly difficult for me to say anything. If I were to meet with Toma Yoko, she'd probably be shocked yet again, wouldn't she? By the fact that the author of that article was her daughter's, well... No. What would really be surprising is if she actually still remembers me. We've only met once, and 3 years ago at that.
マリさん、ありがたい話ですけど、俺
は。もしかしたら、當間和沙と会わせてくれるかもしれないだろう。会いたいんじゃないのか、本当は。
Being unaware of the whole story, huh? I can only say that I've underestimated Mari-san.
なんで？
あの記事が世に出てから北原来なくなったからさ。もしかして昔を思い出して落ち込んでるんじゃないかって思って。
So talking about this is gonna make us less depressed somehow? I don't know. You're on some dangerous waters here. Not that I disagree with her. I'm just saying. No, she couldn't possibly know the truth about everything. I don't recall telling her that much.
そこで笑い飛ばしてくれたら私も安心できたんだかな。
すいません。
So it's simply Mari-san being perceptive then. And at the same time, it's undeniable proof that she's been worried about me.
北原って結構ナイーブだよな。傷つきやすくて自分で自分を責めてばかりで。
そうでしょうか。
そうだよ。それに辛いことがあると仕事や勉強に逃げようとするからすぐにそういうのわかるし。
She's really been watching over me closely, hasn't she? Even so.
傷ついてるからって理由で俺が被害者だっていうのは違うと思います。だって相手につけた傷の深さに比べたら俺のかすり傷なんて笑ってしまうくらいの軽さで。
Aww. His voice, the voice acting is very, very good. Dang, so good. Even so, while I'm glad that she's favoring her subordinate like this, I can't help but think that it doesn't feel right.
そんな俺がこうしてマリさんに慰めてもらうなんておこがましいにも程があると思うんですよ。
だから余計落ち込むのか。誰も自分を叱ってくれないから。叱った後許してくれないから。
What Mari-san just pointed out is pretty much the same thing I've been thinking about until yesterday.
じゃあ、私はお前を責めないよ。だから、許しもしない。北原が話すだけ。それを私が聞くだけ。誰もお前を許しはしないけど、それでもお前は少しだけ楽になる。
けど、俺一人が楽になったって。
自分が楽になれば、相手に償おうって気も起きるんじゃないかな。
There you go. You have to make yourself whole before you can go be and help with other people. Like, it's such a simple concept. You can't just like take all the blame and take everything and try to make everyone else feel better because it's gonna make them feel bad and then you're gonna get caught in the circle. She's totally right. Mari-san, so wise. 2 thumbs up.
まあ、話したくないなら別にいいけど、完全にお前のプライベートだし、私はバイト先の上司でしかないし。
聞いてくれるんですか？
ウエストバージニア航空274便ニューヨーク行きはただいまご搭乗の最終案内をいたしております。お客様は88番ゲートよりお急ぎご搭乗ください。
そして何もアドバイスはしない。
And that was an announcement for the plane boarding for New York.
ありがとうございます。
Oh man.
それで？
俺、トーマカズサのこと今でも好きだったんです。
Mari-san is so nice. Like, unbelievably nice. And she has this crush on Haruki, like it's really obvious. And yet now she's missing her work flight. And for her to put off work is crazy. She's so kind.
そうか。
まだ忘れてなかったんです。
まあ、そんな感じはしてたよな。
そのせいで傷つけてしまった相手がいるんです。
Oh. Surprisingly, I managed to tell her everything. Of the very first person I invited into our group, who happened to be none other than Miss Hojo Hai herself. of how quickly grew close to that girl who was unbelievably sociable despite her popularity and fame. And on the night after the school festival ended, the one that had exchanged a confession of feelings for me wasn't Kazusa, but the other girl. It wasn't Kazusa and I that were considered officially together by everyone around us at the time. It was me and the other girl instead. And yet, I'd betrayed the girl with Kazusa, and then there was the period that lasted until today, where the both of us continued to hold on to all of our past regrets and never ceased to shackle the other. And then there was Christmas Eve, where I'd betrayed her with Kazusa yet again, the both of us realizing anew the cold reality that we're still strangling each other. Mari-san ended up listening quietly, just as she promised she would. She'd ask for some slight clarification at times where there was a jump in my story's timeline, but she'd truly listened to me otherwise. That's why I've told her everything, leaving nothing unsaid, even the most important part.
すいません。
なんで謝るんだ。私は聞くって言ったぞ。
それでも話しすぎたかなって。酒の席でもないのに。それどころか面と向かってもいないのに。
面と向かってないからこそ話せたんだろう。これだと相手の反応が見えないもんな。
そうなんでしょうか。
それにしばらく顔を合わせないからこそ話せたんだろう。次に顔を合わせるときはもうお互い忘れてるかもしれないもんな。
They definitely won't be forgetting about it, but they can pretend that they did.
かもしれませんね。
I'm sure that the both of us will still remember our conversation today, that next time we meet, yeah, exactly. Even so, it will be easier for us to pretend that we've forgotten all about it after some time passes. She's likely chosen to hear me out through the phone because she's gone as far as to consider all that. Or perhaps I'm just overthinking it.
にしても若いな北原は。たまにこういう青い話を聞くとほっとする。
俺、普段そんなに年寄り臭いですか？
まあ、悪い意味じゃないよ。落ち着きすぎてるっていうか、理屈っぽいっていうか、冷めてるっていうか。
悪い意味じゃないんですか？それ全部。
あのさ、最初に約束した通り、私は責めも許しもしない。だから北原の話を聞きながら私ならどうするかって考えてたんだけど。
マリさんならどうしますか？
正直わからないよ。お前が選んだ選択がお前のしたことが正しいのか。
そうですか。
そうか大変だなとも言えないし、私にも別れるとも言えない。
マリさん。
だからやっぱりお前は間違ってるとも言えない。いや、まあ元から言わない約束だけどな。それは
はい。
すまないな。私どうやら本当の役立たずみたいだ。こういう話は。
ありがとうございます。それで十分です。
なんでだ？私フォローも何もしてないぞ。
自分だけが間違ってるんじゃないかって、自分だけが何も分かってないんじゃないかってそう思ってたんです。けどそんなわけでもないんだって。やっぱり俺だけ少し救われたみたいだ。よくないなこれって。
北原、さてとPDCA の C のフェーズはこのくらいかな。
PDCA って？
あとは自分の力で A のフェーズに移行しろ。北原ならできるよな。
PDCA, what does that mean? I don't know what PDCA stands for. Oh, phew. Plan, do, check, act. A cycle that, while originally intended for the management of manufacturing industries, is now applicable in pretty much any job in our modern day. A cycle that she beat into my head during the first week of work.
それじゃあそろそろ行く。私が日本に戻ったらまた大量の仕事を回してやるからな。
I have a feeling that half of what she just said was an attempt to try and hide her embarrassment, though I know there's truth in the other half nevertheless. To change myself for the better, to work hard for that change.
ありがとう、マリさん。
ありがとうございます。
You gotta speak formally to her. She's still your boss. That was definitely her trying to hide her embarrassment.
ありがとうございます。
Even so, even if I did manage to read her like a book, I don't see myself being able to do anything other than follow what she had said.
Ah, 置いてかれちゃった。ニューヨーク行きってまだあるのかな今日。
Oh, Mari-san. I hope you get your money back too. It's an expensive conversation. A continuation of yesterday, is it? My auspiciously reversed rhythm of life, where I've finally gotten some sleep, is getting more and more out of control.
はいちょっと待ってろって。
I steal a glance at my clock as I hop out of bed. 8 o'clock? I take a guess from looking at the color of the sky. It's 8 p.m. It's a time when it's natural for anyone to assume I'm awake. As such, it appears I can't be mad about this unannounced visit. Then again, I can only think of a handful of people who would ring my doorbell. Salesmen and swindlers aside.
竹谷か。
Oh, hey Chiaki.
Yo!
Yo. She's not among that handful of people. After all, her paper is finished, the seminars have ended, the year-end party's over, and the year itself is also coming to an end. See, this is where I gotta scold Haruki for not thinking of her as a friend. I can't believe that she, the queen of playing truant even on weekdays of all people, would be loitering around near our university, and on a day that otherwise would be a perfect holiday for her, no less.
うわ、無精ひげ。ねえ、スリスリさせて。
待て、泉。お前何しに来やがった。
Well, having her hug me so suddenly and rubbing her face against mine is actually kind of scary in a way, though.
何しに来やがったはひどいな。せっかく女の子が一大決心して来たってのに。
その心は。
ローテーションの一角。そろそろ止めてくれる友達のネタが尽きてきて。
また家に帰ってないのかよ。
It appears that the rift between the mother and the daughter of the Izumi family is heading in a grave direction to this day. Looks like it's time to get a part-time job. I hope she's aware that it's hard for anybody to give a proper response to that kind of excuse before she uses it.
昨日まで泊まってた部屋の子が帰省しちゃってさ。さすがに暖房の入らない冬休みの研究室も辛くってね。
No air conditioning. Oh no.
他を渡ってくれ、他を。
他って言ってもさ、あとは同じゼミの知り合いくらいしかいないけど。
じゃあそっちに。
みんな春樹と同じ性別だけど。まあ仕方ないか。ちょっと電話貸してね。携帯の電池やばいことになっちゃっててさ。だからここにも連絡できなかったんだよね。
いや、お前それは。
何？
その。
Almost immediately, like, The first IRL conversation Haruki's having is someone asking him for a favor. This is why you can't be always helping every single person. It'll just get you taken advantage of.
充電器変えよ。待て、お前ゼミの男友達なんて顔。
でも多分止めてくれるよ。なんならかけてみる？
そんな危ないことすんな。
お邪魔します。
The only thing she's far better at than me is negotiating. The hot water wakes both my body and my mind up simultaneously. As I rub my body with the soap and sponge to the point where it hurts, my sense of touch returns to my skin as well. After letting a woman into my house, I hopped into the shower immediately. It may be giving off the impression that I want to engage in a certain something with her, but I really have no such intentions. Has he showered since this depression started like 4 days ago? It's just that I need to do something about both the existing problem that Izumi pointed out earlier and also why it happened. In other words, I'm just freshening myself up in the bathroom for a bit. I really didn't conduct myself very well, even if only in front of Izumi. Then again, I can't believe how she still nonchalantly hugged me despite how stinky and dirty I was. Oh no, Haruki! For the record, I wouldn't say I've fallen prey to her sly tricks, nor would I say I've surrendered to her attempt at seducing me either. It's just that, as far as Izumi is concerned, I know that even if I try to complain, she'll shrug me off with a, well, whatever, and just do whatever she wants to anyway. Since that day, I've been forced to communicate for the second time now, and on 2 consecutive days at that. And it's not just communication through voice this time, it's face-to-face interaction. I neither hoped for nor approved this, but my life's gradually getting back on track. Excellent, good, it's moving in the right direction. I hate the whole time heals all wounds expression, but honestly, it kind of does.
Oh. たまにはピザもいいね。まあ私としては春樹の手料理の方が理想だけどさ。
Ooh, pizza! Pizza's so expensive in Japan. It can be upwards at $45 for a pizza.
ちゃんとサラダも食え。栄養のバランスを考えて食事しろ。
思ったよりも食べるね、春樹。ずっと寝てた割には。
エネルギーの消費以上に補給してなかったからな。
It's been 4 days, and even though this food is too heavy for my stomach to handle, it just goes straight down my throat. To be honest, my tongue hasn't recovered to the point where it can determine whether something tastes good or not. Even so, my stomach, which had started to whine in the middle of it all, now brazenly accepting chunks of cheese and dough. Ugh, why do you gotta write it like that? That makes it sound gross.
この
そんなにタバスコかけるな。しかも俺の領域にまで侵食してきやがって。
I love tobacco on my not tobacco. Oh my goodness, Tabasco on my pizza. I finally managed to get some sleep yesterday, and as of today, I've bathed myself and shaved my beard. And I can finally eat now as well. Perhaps it's better to say that my appetite's returned.
だから一気に詰め込むなと。お茶飲むか？はいはい。
It's likely because there's a certain someone who has a knack for really enjoying food right in front of me that I'm capable of eating normally like this though. Really, really good for him. I'm glad Chiaki showed up. She says like, oh, it's because I have nowhere else to go. No. I mean, Haruki needs it, and I'm sure she realized.
流し込むだけのために一缶開けるやつがあるか。お前途中から目的変わってたろ。
I'm reluctant to admit it, but it's the truth.
ああ、最後の一つのピザ、春樹に譲ってあげるよ。
そうか。じゃあ遠慮なく。
その代わり、これで半分以上はあんたが食べた計算になるんだから、割り勘率は7-3。せめて6-4に。
Got him.
なんてせせこましい計算してんだ、泉は。
いや、さすがに外泊を繰り返してたせいで先立つものが。
いいよ。ピザ代くらいは俺が全額負担する。
え、マジ？いくつ食べたとか関係なく全部春樹のおごり？
すでにビール代も全額負担してるしな。
わーい、春樹太っ腹愛してる。じゃあ最後の一つも遠慮なく。
Now she's gonna take the last piece.
それはスポンサーに譲れ。資金提供の絶対条件だ。
なんてせせこましい権利を振りかざすかな、春樹は。
Following Mari-san, now it's Izumi who's bringing me back to the real world again.
そういえばさ、冬休み入ってからどっか遊びに行った？
ずっと引きこもり。
Given it's been a while since I last ate anything, it's natural that it's been some time since I last did any housework as well. The nylon sponge was completely dry. I could barely open the dish soap bottle in the kitchen, and I saw a bit of rust in the water in the sink.
あれ？彼女と遊びに行ったりは？
Don't know.
そもそも俺に彼女がいるって話は一体どこから来たんだ。
All of these are but some of the telltale scars of the fact that I've not done anything in this room for the past several days.
前に言ってなかったっけ？
言ってないだろ、そんなこと。妙な釜かけるな。
じゃあ何？春樹ってば冬休みにどっかも遊びに行く予定ないの？
バイトがあるんだよ、バイトが。俺は忙しいの。
ずっと引きこもってたって言わなかったっけ？しかもつい10秒ほど前。
For example, as well as the fact that I'm not able to communicate properly, as shown from how I'm incapable of refuting even a simple argument like that.
なんか言ったか？
She's got a real bad habit of doing that. So sneaky.
さあ、じゃあこっち。違うな。
あ、
はい、上がり。これで私の何連勝だっけ？
くそー。一度は馬場に手をかけてたのに。
I toss the last card left in my hand, the Joker, and lament on how terrible my luck is today. The session of Old Maid after dinner had ended with a score of 16-2 in her favor, which included a 10-round losing streak for me. Dang, she's good at reading people. Objectively speaking, the difference is unequivocally one-sided.
だって春樹、反応が露骨なんだもん。そっちに馬場が言った時点で勝負あったも同然。
なんでそんなに強いんだよ。実はカードに印とかつけてないだろうな。
That would be clever, yes. It's true that the two same instances that I've won ended up with me not getting the Joker in my hand even once and getting away with it to the very end.
よくさ、嘘をつくと耳を触るとか、そういう癖で見抜くとか言うじゃん。
俺にもそういうのがあるのか？
そんな単純なものじゃないって。人間の反応ってやつはさ。
そうなのか？
仕草や息遣いや口数や顔色やその他もろもろ、相手のいろんな反応を全部見て総合的に判断しないと。
そこまで観察してんのかよ。
それだけじゃないよ。こっちは逆にそういうの全部コントロールして相手に逆の意図を誤解させるように仕向けるの。
Huh, and now she's a puppet master. That'd be a very, very scary skill.
お前、心理学専攻した方が良かったんじゃないか？
At first, it'd seem like she's bluffing, but since I ended up with such a losing streak, I can't help but believe her. I'm actually really glad I rejected Izumi's initial suggestion of playing poker with I don't play games that involve gambling after all this.
理論には興味ないんだよね。あくまでも実践というか、現場主義というか。
将来詐欺師にでもなるつもりかよ。
今でも似たようなものかもね。
泉。
All of a sudden, this classmate of mine who possesses detailed observation skills and a masterful poker face laughs with an expression of self-derision.
それはともかくさ、もうちょっと歯ごたえのある勝負がしたいよ、私は。なんか他に遊ぶものないの？
トランプ以外だと、とか
Uno! Uno! And they bleeped it out because it's a brand name. That's so funny. I'm so glad they did that.
相変わらず娯楽の少ない部屋だよね。私の友達でゲーム機持ってないのって
文句があるならもう寝ろ。そして夢の中で一進一退の好勝負でも繰り広げててくれ。
仕方ないな。じゃあ目標20連勝に情報修正してババ抜き続けますか。
She's so funny. Alright, we will stop here. Thank you so much for being here for today's episode of White Album 2's closing chapter, and I'll be back at you with more in the future. Until then, I hope you take care. See you!